Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. We're back with more of the letter. Still here, still going through. Hello souls, enjoy your lurk. And also, because Twitch is being an asshole, I need to do this. Look, I have clothes on. I am not implied nude. See? Everything's fine. Enough of me is covered. So can we now carry on? Stupid attire rules. So, last time, we were all held gunpoint by, well, Luke. And now we have to play as him, which is gonna be painful. So, why don't we just get to it? Oh, right. And before I start, I have added a bunch of new commands. If anyone's in the chat is interested to try them out, feel free to do so. I will have to post them somewhere. Well, let's just wait until Souls comes back. I'm sure she'll be interested to try them out. There's no protest as she uses me as a crutch while going up the stairs. But that's as far as I want to go. Judging by the light blush on Hannah's face, she's gotten self-conscious about it too.
Hans, look after her, and you stay in bed. I just need to go out.
What happened last time? I have a vague memory. I'll have plenty of time to be alone in the mansion by myself when Hannah moves out. Alright, she had the incident with the basement. For now, I can go and stretch my legs, fresh air, all that. Breathe. Gray skies loop over in the horizon, though the sun fights for every precious minute it gets to stay. It'll rain again soon, with the wind bringing along a gloomy clouds normal to Luxburn. Until then, it doesn't hurt to be out here for fresh air and sunshine. I walk to the gardens, what little there is at the moment anyway, and kneel by the daffodils. These were the first to be brought here and planted on my request, and if nothing else, they brought in a sense of peace. They were my mother's favorites. Closing my eyes, I lift my chin up to welcome the light that shines upon me. And for a minute, I can imagine myself as one of the flowers, peaceful, blooming, and all too happy in the stand in its warmth. Life would be much easier if we were all like flowers, wouldn't it? But I didn't step out here to be all philosophical. I have problems much more practical than figuring out the meaning of life after all. Too many things have gone on these past few days. I want to forget about them, even for just a moment.
It's almost All Saints, isn't it? To think I've almost forgotten.
I speak the words absent-mindedly. Welcome back, Souls. I'll post them on Discord. There's a bunch of commands that I have, and feel free to try them out to see what they do. I said post it. There we go. Every line has a different command, but I made sure that there are several different commands you can use to trigger a certain effect. So feel free to try them out. Hello? I became spooky. Be afraid. Now the big question is, I do revert back to normal. Perfect. I was worried for a moment, and it did it so seamlessly. And now, I only have 32 pits. I have become, well, an old sprite. Just look at me. You can barely see my eyes and mouth. And if I turn, you can't tell heads or tails. I had way too much fun with the pixelation thing. And I'm back to normal. Souls is having a field day. Oh, you almost got it. You just dropped the bits. Obviously. You can see you're going for the shorter ones, which obviously is easier to make. As you can see, a bit more pixels than the last time, but still very difficult to say what I look like. And as you saw with one of the commands, I honestly think I look like an RPG character. Sorry, RPG Maker character. Just look at it. And I understand. Did I make actually sure? I suppose most of them are short-ish. And now I'm a worm. Join me, souls. We're all worms here. I did this by accident. I was like, I gotta add this. It is worming time. I thought you would. Oh boy, I'm a megapixel now. I literally turn into a single pixel. I wasn't kidding when I said I'm just one pixel and nothing else. This is the real VTuber experience. Just one pixel at the corner. Oh look, now I'm two. I lied. It's 2 bits. Also, if you notice, the matrix isn't on the command list. That's because I couldn't get it to work. It doesn't work with the filter. And now I'm just slightly pixelated. You know, give me that good old, poor quality experience. This is how it feels to watch 144p videos, doesn't it? It kinda looks like a person, but kinda doesn't. I've also said on most of them I've set a timer on 30 seconds or 15 seconds. I haven't checked how good those timers are. Should they be shorter or longer? I just made sure that they last long enough. And here's the glitch one that actually reacts to my voice. So the more noise I make, more distorted I get. That could be a little bit longer, actually. I have to remember on that. I believe one of the others, I can't remember which one, also had the option of that. Oh no. The ghost didn't work. Why didn't the ghost work? Do I have the command wrong? This must be fixed immediately. Ah, there we go. There's the issue. There we go, souls. Try it again. It should work now. I still had the old Matrix name for it. So I switched it to Ghost. Here we go. It's Ghost time. I was the one who tormented these people all along. What else do we have left? The head pats is the obvious one. The spooky. Ah yes. Now I'm all sad. So sad. think the only one you haven't tried is the underwater one. Look, I am under the water now. I'm drowning. Send help. And it doesn't actually disrupt anything on the screen, which is surprising. Yes. Souls, we aren't playing that game right now. We already had one ghost in the lake, we don't need another one. Also, I haven't tested, but the bonk sound alert should now work correctly. I haven't tested it, but it should work. So if you want to give it a go, I'd like to see if it works or not. Bonk me, souls. Obviously the problem is that if Sound Alert decides that, hey, I'm not gonna send a chat message, it obviously won't work. That was not a bonk! You shot me! Let me see if I can trigger it. Where am I? Sound alert. You know? Right, because there's a cooldown. And I don't think I can override it from here. Can I... Let's see. Enabled. Test trigger. Well, the bonk happened. The sound effect didn't. So, we'll have to wait for that. Because it also might be off sync. It might not work at all. So, who knows? Meanwhile, we'll continue the game. The date means nothing to me, as I neither worship the religion nor have any graves to visit. After all, Motto was never given the proper burial. But it's a date as good as any for me to grieve. Otherwise, I would have done so every single day, crippling myself and shutting everyone else out. I can remember how the flames flicked at her flesh and how it consumed her body until there was nothing left but ash. I stood there watching with the operator and social service worker. So I could have been alone for all I cared. I felt alone. It was the most that could be done. No one would attend the funeral of a dead prostitute, let alone pay for it. All that's left of her, a proof that she had lived, is her name written in the ledger of Luxburn Cemetery, a lighter and me. Pulling up the lighter from my jacket, I can't stop myself from flicking it open to stare at the flame and run my thumb over her name. Eleanor. All in all, it isn't much, but it's something. It'll be wrong of me not to make something of myself when she would have given everything to make sure I can become anything I want to
It's
be.
like I'm stuck in a nightmare right now.
Oh, you are? And it's never going to end.
What I would give to have you here by my side, Mother dear. To see you smiling at me. Alive and as beautiful as ever. I'm afraid I'm starting to forget what your face looks like. I've already forgotten the shade of your hair.
Eleanor Chandler was a wonderful woman, though not everyone would have agreed. Not everyone had seen her past her occupation, past her vices and her illness. All they saw was a poor woman who sold her body to make ends meet, and a bastard son because of it. They didn't see the mother who worked hard to put the food on the table for me. The woman who gave and gave and gave to me while expecting nothing in return. She taught me the merits of hard work, but though I loved her so, I worked hard for myself. I would not be so foolish, so selfless towards people who would never give back. I learned that from the father who plucked me out of an orphanage for his own selfish gain. A pocket lighter if I can feel the urge of actually set anything ablaze. Consider my close proximity to flowers, they would be the most likely victim of arson. Just the thought itself is blasphemous. Nevertheless, it doesn't save them from being picked, just enough to make a bouquet of the things in honor of Eleanor.
Would you be proud of me if you saw me now, Mother? Maybe. You're always so forgiving. No matter what trouble I got into, more than I deserved. Especially now.
It's been a while since I've talked to my mother like this. I've been thinking about both my dear parents far too much, as of late, when I shouldn't. I have a future to look forward to and the present to take care of. These memories of the past give me nothing but grief. The life of Lucille Mitchell Chandler should be nothing but a footnote in Luke Wright's non-existent autobiography. I'm not gonna try to pronounce that again. Too tired. It's because of Hannah, isn't it? I worry that she is all too much like Mother that it scares me. And the thought that I'm turning into my father is even more so. Alright, have fun lurking. Meanwhile, let me quickly check. Yes, I can test it. Test the punk. Ouch. There was a bit of a delay on that. Yeah. And I'm not sure how much I can do about that. Because I already have a delay on purpose to match that, but... well, nothing I can do about that. We'll just have to keep... Souls, you just have to keep bonking me when necessary, and then tell me how badly it is delayed. Or if it's early, that's also a possibility. Guess the idea was that it would match with the time it bonks me. But I have no control over when the sound alerts gives any message. Which annoys me. Still, at least it works now. But even if the history is set to repeat itself, I'm not a child anymore. Content to sit aside, unable to do anything to help, and too inexperienced to think that the worst wouldn't happen. I have the money to buy the best medicines and doctors if need be. She'll get better. She has to. Once we get this little bump in the road, I can stop worrying. All will be right in the world. Or it would be if you didn't cheat on her. Unfortunately, my time alone is cut short, though.
I think those flowers look beautiful, my lord. The parlor, the room where the lady stays for her tea. It could certainly use some.
The voice is not familiar, though I'm not really the one to remember such things. Small talk. Going with her attire, I would say that she's one of the housekeepers. Oddly looking familiar, though. Strange, I've sent all the staff but Johannes away. She's not the housekeeper. And her face, as pretty as it is unfamiliar to me. It would be a lie if I said that it didn't set me on edge. Most would say I cared little for my employees. That isn't entirely untrue. However, I'd like to think that people who work for me, especially those who who would roam my home, even if it's just a face and a name. Besides, I would remember beauties such as her. So who is this? If she's someone impersonating a household staff to get in, she's doing a bad job at it.
Didn't you get the memo? Are you new? Today is a day off. You aren't supposed to be here.
I expect poor excuses and apologies the likes of her often give, but she merely smiles.
Oh, no. I've been a servant here since you first came.
And I see no signs of lying nor hear it in her words. Yet they can't be true. But I find that I feel like I can relax. She has that sort of smile that makes one's kindness shine through without words or action. It reaches her eyes, filling them with strange sort of mirth, as if she's just thought of something very funny. Perhaps, had it been any other person, I would have interpreted it as deceitful grin. But the curl of her lips and the shine of her eyes are too soft to hold any malice. She takes my silence as a sign that she can continue. And it's not like I feel any urgency to stop her. I'm not really in the mood for company. But I'm not adverse to it at the moment either. Entertaining a beauty like her, even for a little while, wouldn't hurt. It helps that she proves easy to listen to despite how oddly she
I'm
speaks.
sorry. I apologize. I shouldn't have bothered you. Look at me, talking to the master of the house without even asking for permission. What will the others think? If you'll excuse me, I'll just...
I haven't driven you away yet, have I? And it's your day off. I don't see why we can't chat a bit.
Of course. If that is what you wish. As long as it does not get you into trouble with the lady. To even take time for someone as lowly as me. No wonder that everyone under the mansion's employ is so fond of you. Though it should have no longer been a surprise to me. You have always been such a kind and loving lord.
As if. You have to stop myself from calling her out on her shite. It's almost as if she's talking about entirely different men. No matter how big my ego gets, I know for a fact I'm hardly the running for best of the boss. The best boss of the year award. The only reason that most of my staff stay is because of decent compensation. I'm not cheap. But if she wants to lay it on thick, I'll allow it. Who wouldn't want a beautiful woman complimenting them?
I'm sure she'll be fine with this. We are just talking after all. Unless you had other things on your mind when you approached me.
Yet you did not feel the same when Hannah talked to Zack. The words leave my mouth before I even realize what I've said. I panic a bit. If I can get away with picking up women out in the city, sometimes even out the county, I've always taken care of not to do so in my home or in my businesses. Not when it'll be easy for Hannah to find out about my infidelity through these channels. No, seriously, I still don't see what the big deal about it is. I just have an itch I need to scratch. And I have an itch that needs to be scratched, meaning to kill you.
I know it must be amusing to see a girl flustered for a man of your stature. But please don't say such things, my lord. I saw you alone and simply thought you could use some company.
Thankfully, I do count my lucky stars, and it seems the woman takes it as a joke rather than a casual pass it was intended to be.
So how are you liking your work around the mansion? The place is wonderful, but I imagine the upkeep is ungodly with all the rooms and whatnot. I don't even want to think about how many people are on the staff roster.
Work is work, my lord. It is a way of living. A purpose from day to day. It is certainly far better than doing nothing or having no food to eat. The house itself is also beautiful. There's no lack of things to look at. I'm sure you've seen those books in the study. I can't read any of them yet, but if given the chance, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be thinking of those things. Especially when the rains, they might bring more work to us soon. It will definitely be much more difficult when it returns.
Excuse me, I'm gonna test the bonk once more. Submit. I got bonked. Oh yeah, that's quite a delay. Don't mind me, I'm just adding timer. Well, that would explain it. There is no delay. Not on this end. So give me a moment. Can I add... Can I add a delay here? That's fine. Delay, perfect. Let's try 1 second. Let's see what that does. Actually, wait. That doesn't actually work. Never mind. Because I just realized that I would need to have a negative time for that. But because the program that I'm using currently does not support sound alerts, their integration, there's nothing I can do about it. It will be off sync. And that's it. Anyway.
Idling about is the least I should be doing.
I guess you can put it that way if you want to be brutally honest about the whole thing. And the rain shouldn't be a problem. Hopefully. Maybe.
If a little cherry, at least she doesn't beat around the bush. I like the honesty. Maybe would bemoan their status as a household staff, as a janitor, utter menial role, and believe themselves to be for greater things. And I would not begrudge the idea that one can always get better. But one shouldn't be so discontent with what they have
The
either.
rain is something I simply must get accustomed to if I am to live here. I've not spent long in this place after all, but I have been told that it has rained in this nation since a mother's time and their mother's time. There is little we can do about it. I am just glad to have time in the sun, even for a short while.
Isn't that the truth? Really, these sunny days have been welcome, though I can't imagine they'll last for long. Sometimes I just want to pack my things and leave for somewhere like, say, the Bahamas or whatnot. Get some sun and surf.
But certainly, you will return for us, won't you? This is your home, after all. Your people. They won't be pleased if the master of the house leaves.
Wait! Is that what's going on? They won't be pleased if the master of the house leaves. Is it... I presume this is the dead girl. The previous master left, and she created a grudge. And she keeps hunting down anyone who enters the house and then leaves. Would that make sense? But then again, some of these attacks have been inside the mansion, so...
Of course, I can't very well leave my businesses hanging here, can I?
Wait. Isabella? Some of these make sense. Hannah attempted to leave the mansion to have time off. Zachary is it important? Mary Ann had the choice to stay, but when she didn't, she got attacked. Luke isn't being attacked because he never was going to leave. It makes sense.
I just wish I could actually trust people enough to go on vacation without taking work with me. I've also got to get back here if I ever want proper meals. A proper pudding is something you'll never find out there.
The woman nods in understanding, and I must say she makes for a fine listening ear. Now what she says next gives me a pause, whether she meant for me to hear it or not.
And good tea. From what the cook has been telling me, I've yet learned how to prepare one. Perhaps once I do, it would endear the lady of the house to me. I never expected her to be so unkind after what she did for me.
The previous owners were the opposite.
Though it's only if one catches her in a foul mood. I wish I knew how to avoid her anger.
I highly doubt she means Hannah. The woman rarely has a mean bone in her body. But when she actually is nasty towards someone else, it's usually deserving enough. Much like with that Rochelle woman. Hell, she even told her to Harvey for me, even if she did admit she doesn't quite like the man. She must mean the head housemaid, right? I have a laugh at that. Not that I have a room to speak. I don't deal with her myself anymore, though even Johannes has a few choice words about her, about the head hag. She's just been under the right employ when she was also a head housemaid for my father. And if anyone's not going to get along with someone, it'll be that crotchety old woman. I don't even remember her name. But the woman had been quite strict, upstart bitch who took one look at me, her master's bastard son, and turned her nose up, as if she were better by mere consequence of birth. That, and she absolutely loathed my very existence. Perhaps the rumors had been true. She had a miscarriage while bearing another one of her dear father's children, and she saw me as an obstacle to her being granted a better standing in life. I remember that much at least. The only reason I haven't sacked her yet is because of her competence. Also because working under my household makes her absolutely miserable. Her resignation made impossible by her pride.
Nobody really gets along with that woman. I think everyone just tolerates her because of how old she is. I mean, not to be rude or awful or anything, but she's at the age where she'll be pushing daisies soon enough.
Is she? Really, my lord? I'm sure the lady is much younger than that.
I think the thought of tormenting the young and beautiful gives her reason to live.
It does seem that way. Though I feel sorry for her. One's life should not be wasted away on hatred and anger. It is never good for the heart or the head to always carry ill thoughts. But at the least, you are here for us. We are certainly so lucky to have a lord like you. The lady even more so. The gods smile down on her. Though, if I may be honest, she is to be envied.
Even when I have my suspicions about her, she's just so easy to talk with that I've forgotten. I don't know who she is, and if she's actually one of the household staff, that would explain why she would so easily give obviously wrong statements about my character. Though, if she is here for malicious reasons, she would have done more than do small talk with me by now, wouldn't she? I have so many questions. Perhaps curiosity will kill this cat.
It's strange that I've never seen you before. What's your name?
You do not remember?
I don't believe you've mentioned it, or am I missing something?
A spy? Oh, don't you worry, Souls. She's not a spy. She's just our favorite ghost girl who keeps killing everyone. Doesn't the hair look similar?
You still cannot comprehend it, can you, my lord?
Her answer chips away the good mood I'm starting to get into. I have every right to be angry at the cryptic response. She threatens insubordination with her very presence alone. But instead of hurling vitriol at the woman, I take a deep breath. do not want my mood ruined further than it already is. Not right now when I can let my temper take its course another
Whatever
time.
your name is, and no matter how long you've been working for us, that does not change the fact that you shouldn't be here. I'll call you a cab to bring you to the city if you want.
Shouldn't I? What if I do not wish to leave?
Here we go.
I merely desire to stay by your side and serve. Is that such a deplorable thing?
Her gaze sends chills down my spine. It's too easy to see the devotion, the obsession in her eyes, that I get sword-eyed her, as her scrutiny makes me feel like I'm laid bare. The offness of her presence is all the more palpable with the feeling of bugs crawling on my skin, and the silence that makes it seems as if the world has stopped. Any friendly atmosphere we might have had going for us is completely forgotten. Danger. A small part of my back of my mind screams, the part that has kept me alive all these years. And in hindsight, it'd be stupid not to take heed of it. But I've grown arrogant, complacent, and content to hide behind wealth and power.
Yes, it's a deplorable thing, as you said, because I'd like to be alone now. Thank you very much. If you didn't want the day off, you should have reported to your superior. This is utterly unprofessional of you, and I shall be issuing complaints. In fact, if you know it's good for you, you should start looking for another employer.
It's at my tread that that smile on her face turns tight.
I see. It escapes you still. This is unfortunate.
That certainly is scripted.
How despairing that this misery must go on. But maybe, if you come with me, I can help you. I can...
When she reaches out to me, I recoil with a hiss.
How dare you lay your filthy hands on me without my permission? I am not going anywhere with you. Now step back and walk away before I have you forcibly removed.
As if a switch had been flipped, the woman's expression turns horrific. Although that may very well be understatement of the century. She herself turns horrific. Her presence is suffocating, bearing down on me. I'm rooted on the spot, through no fault of my own as my fear
You are
paralyzes.
too much like that vile woman, poisoned by her rotten influence and her filthy words. But that can be remedied now that you're here. Oh, how we have waited to welcome you home. Come, my lord. The house beckons.
When her fingers grasp the back of my coat, I finally find it in me to break off into a run. Wanting some alone time and fresh air, Luke excused himself lingering in the gardens as he remembered the memory of his late mother. Suddenly a beautiful woman appeared by his side, striking up a conversation with him. It was all pleasant at first until... I can still feel the ice on me as I ran back to the house, but I refused to acknowledge it, let alone look back. All I need to do is get away from her and make sure she stays away. If that means acting like a coward and seeking out company to keep me safe, nobody can tell me to do otherwise. Bravery isn't something to be lauded if it comes along with stupidity. It must have been a sight. The usually composed and reserved Luke Wright bursting through the doors. Not that I have much audience, unless there are other staff members who've chosen to disregard my orders for them to leave. Really, I still doubt that woman is one of the staff. Mustering up the courage, I looked back through the window to see if she followed me. She's gone. But I don't take any chances, but there is much distance as I can between us. Stopping to catch my breath, Johan's sudden appearance nearly makes me jump out of my skin.
Don't fucking do that! You son of a bitch! If I had a gun, I would have shot you!
If I had any love left for my mutter, I'd take offense. But what happened to you? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Oh, little do you know. Oh, if only it were such a delusion. I can still feel her sharp nails sticking into my back. The feeling was too real to have been a ghost.
There was his housekeeper. I think, I'm not sure. In the gardens. She was acting odd and I thought to remove myself from the scene.
Strange. I made sure the rest of the staff had left and that the house was empty, as you requested. Describe this woman.
Ah, I see. Don't worry, souls. You're not the only one stuck in a snowstorm. So you just enjoy your sleep. As meanwhile, I'm going to be killed by the ghosts. Nope. As much as I hate Luke, this is quite entertaining. Maybe it's due to Shraken.
She had pale skin, dark eyes, and long dark hair. She wouldn't give me her name.
I half expected a name from him. The man knows his staff better than I do, after all. But instead of an answer, he grows quiet. I'm pretty sure that is not a good thing. I'm even more worried when the other man looks me over. I have to protest when he pulls back my collar.
What the bloody hell are you doing?
Checking for marks. Needle marks, to be exact. We don't have anyone like that among the staff. You could have easily been kidnapped.
A cold feeling settles itself over me at a thought. I've long established my power over the more unsavory characters in Luxburn. Or I thought I did. And the most harm I thought would come to me would be slander, robbery, or incarceration. Kidnapping? An attempt on my own person? I've forgotten that I'm human, as immortal as any other man despite my wealth and
Fortunately,
status.
you look unharmed. But I advise that you be accompanied by trusted individuals at all times from now on. If not me, an assigned guard. I'll be informing them of this soon, as they return from their day in the city.
Already I can feel the energy leave me for the realization what could have been.
All right. Yes, I suppose we should do that. But I think I'd like to call it a day. I should be safe in bed, yes?
I'll stand guard outside for the night. The madam has been inquiring about you, by the way.
A guard. Any other threat and he alone would be enough to make me feel safe. What I saw, whatever it is I saw, would one man be enough?
All well and good, but there's something else. That housekeeper, she...
Luke, you're home. I was worried about you.
The grin that I can muster is probably lopsided. Forced as I snapped my mouth shut to keep myself blabbing about witches and monsters, we see him standing in the hallway, dirt on my pant legs and sweat dotting my forehead. A far cry from my usually pristine condition. I don't want to worry Hannah. A
What
cough.
happened to you? You look like you wrestled in the mud and moss, dear. And those flowers. Were you gardening?
What? Oh, these. I didn't realize I still had them.
I really did not. But there they are, still in my grip, the daffodils I had taken from the garden. In the wake of my flight, I had refused to let them go whether I was conscious of it or
Shall I
not.
put them in a vase?
Ooh, ooh. Ooh. Look, the nice thing, the good thing to do is to give the flowers to Hannah. However, I've lost all hope for Luke due to his actions. So the least I can do is to be an absolute asshole. It's not... Huh. Look at them brings only terrible thoughts. A horrible sense of ennui, if one will, therefore mutter. I want to confess, I want to cry out, break down the reasons that escape me. I've grown weak. But I joke, because even Hannah, sweet Hannah, doesn't know the importance of these flowers. I could never bring myself to give up that. Everything else I've laid bare to her. Everything but this. Hannah knows me as Lucille Mitchell, son of Damon Wright, not the son of Eleanor Chandler. I always feared that, even with her kindness, she would think the lesser of me if she
I
knew.
was just pruning. No, I probably killed the thing rather than help it. Why don't you make yourself useful and throw these away?
I shoved the flowers into Johan's arms without second thought, hoping that they'd misinterpret my guilty look for one form of miscomfort and annoyance. The guilt is ridiculous, though. Flowers do nothing for the dead.
You could have told the gardener to do it tomorrow, Luke. I know you're meticulous about those flowers, but asking for help isn't going to kill you.
I was bored. Anyway, what's done is done. We can clean up what I left behind in the morning.
I expect a scolding of some sort, but none came as she simply shakes her head with a sigh. For once I'm allowed to sleep without further incident. The rest does not come easy. Alright, we had that one incident at the bed, too. 31st. I didn't get any sleep. Not a single wink. I was so busy jumping at every shadow and worrying about waking with a knife in my chest. We're almost there. Or not wake up at all. Even when Hannah wakes, in spite of mild fever and ghost dancers for breakfast, I stay in bed, thoughts of poisoned food running in my head. The rain has started sometime during the night, doesn't help the mood. He's grown paranoid. Okay, maybe it helped just a little. The strange sunny weather had been nice at all, but for it to return as it should be feels like a good sign of things to come. Perhaps things will settle back to normal, and the crazy trauma that's gone on lately will die down. I would hate to be caught unawares in this rain. And with how it looks outside, it seems the weather is making up all the sunny days. It's giving with a good old-fashioned downpour. The rhythmic bit of patter of the rain fills the early morning silence with a steady beat. Thank goodness I don't have to be anywhere in a hurry today. I would hate to be caught unawares in this rain. But how it looks outside... It's repeating. And how it looks outside, it seems that the weather is making up for all the sunny days it had given up with a good old-fashioned downpour. It does let up with a quarter of an hour. However, a day beginning with a cloudburst like this, locals usually take it as an immediate sign. Luxborn's abysmal weather is back, likely for good. I hope they did a damn good job fixing the place, because I'd rather not have to deal with the leaky roofs. I don't like the idea of a realty did a horrid patch job with the place. Hannah technically paid millions for this place. It better live up to the price the realty company sold it for. Blue problems aside, there's going to be a definite downer about this as well. She hates the rain. Then again, who actually does? What sane person would like it when the 9 out of 10 days consists of nothing but dark, drab and grey skies and piss water pouring from the heavens? And she was starting to enjoy the sunlight. I will have to get up and about eventually. That is a given. I'm not too keen on seeing or talking to Hannah before she leaves for a hospital. Eventually, in a few days' time, this bloody house. Highly won't like it if she comes here, only to find me in a bad mood. A few would dare rouse me from my bed. Being able to keep the jobs incentive enough, I trust they realize that now is not a good time to force me into anything. You can just get an hour or two of sleep before Zora stops his right off the mansion steps. If only. But as always, somebody has to be the Pascal.
Are you really going to stay in bed all day?
What are you complaining about?
What do you want?
You must have been really rattled by what happened yesterday. If you need to talk about it, I am quite qualified in that regard.
And you aren't even the slightest bit bothered? Truly? Not even the slightest bit worried?
I was worried. But I realized that it's not my life in danger, is it? My worrying will not help matters. Neither will yours.
I love... Love as I am to admit it, he's right. Still, it's a bit more frustrating when he doesn't give me the time to concede his
I
point.
know you two aren't getting along,
Nosy bugger.
but you should at least see the madam off before we leave. Think of her as a business associate if you must. It would not do to part on bad terms.
It's far too early to deal with your nosiness.
That's none of his business. None of it. If he remembers this place, he'll drop it. I want to talk to Hannah. Not now, when I'm high-strung and paranoid. This whole thing is a bloody mess, with everything going off at once. I'm afraid that, with our troubles, I will misinterpret anything she might say or do. That just make the whole thing
Are there
worse.
any updates about the woman?
Being in the dark has me on edge. Information any at all may as well help me in calming
I've already
down.
briefed security about her, and more from the agency will be arriving tonight. But they haven't seen anyone fitting the description.
So you have nothing then? Fat lot of use you guys are. What do I even pay you for? Do me a favor. There's the door. Don't let it hit you on your way out.
Well, there is something. It's about McCulloch.
Don't deny it. I do find myself tiny bit
I
interested.
called her secretary about taking the day off. He hasn't heard from her over the weekend.
Ever consider she might be putting her paycheck to good use? Probably somewhere out there getting drunk, having a shag. Ugh, and I envy her for it. As long as she's here for work, what and who she does in her free time is her business.
Hell, maybe she'll find another client to sleep with. I'll commend her if that's the case. It's a good way to make connections and get business. I would be a hypocrite and liar if I said I didn't get some of my business that way. Scratches the itch too.
That's all well and good, but she's not answering her mobile either. Mr. Parker will be filling a missing persons case with the police if she doesn't turn up today.
Okay, interesting as all this is, why bring this to my attention? If we've lost an interior designer, just find someone else to take her place.
If I knew that letting Hannah hire her would bring us so much trouble, I would have stopped it at just the sex.
The last anyone has seen of her was here, the morning of the party. Your housewarming party.
And this the catch. That isn't good news.
It wouldn't do for the police to hear of this, and to suspect.
It's of little importance that I can easily prove my innocence. It is all a matter of principle. Because even the accusations of demeanor should not stain my reputation, although it is a bit too late to hope for a squeaky clean one. Tonight, it'll be such a hassle to have a police poking up the house looking for a body that doesn't exist.
Now, if we're done here, I'd like to go back to sleep and...
Well, that's too late. Well, there goes my any plans of scrapping some shut-eye. Rolling over to my stomach, I can only scream into my pillow.
Of course. Ah. Johans, distract her.
Oh, look, it's time for me to go.
Oh, how I loved you, Johannes.
Have fun with your little play date. So long, farewell, and auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.
I get to see him climbing out of the window, be like, nope, I am not dealing with this.
No, Johans, don't you turn away from me. Keep her busy for an hour. Come on!
Now to press my face against a pillow what sport is press a groan. You just can't get a loyal help anymore.
Hello there, little Fraulein. Your uncle is just upstairs and will be down in a moment.
He is super excited to have you today. I hope you're well rested and ready to play a lot.
Oh boy.
Bastard. I'll be down in a sec, Munchkin. Let me just...
Change into a fresh shirt, brush my teeth, fix my hair, bemoan my very existence. Wish I was anywhere else in the world right now. Don't get me wrong, Kyle's a great kid. Wonderful. That is the most brats her age. But handling a tyke is the last thing on my agenda right now with the whole Hannah business. Fortunately, I am well versed in how the world works. I've long learned that the show must go on no matter what hurdles come in the way. So I set to preparing for the day. Running a comb through my head is just fine and simply makes me feel more human. Red hair is disgusting, though it isn't as bad as it was when I was a child. But how expensive trip the barber's was, I often had to grow it out until my mother had the time to cut it for me. The curls and tangles were simply torrid. Why? I was even mistaken as a little girl because of that. It certainly doesn't help that I was named Lucille. A freshly pressed shirt is enough to chase away the last sign of sleepiness. The feel of fresh and clean clothes in my hand is a clear marker of the start of the day. Smoothing down my suit and my hair with a sigh, I steel myself for the horrors. The horrors that come with the taking care of a child.
Good morning to you, Luke.
Speak of the devil and she shall appear. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, the Kylie grins up to me as soon as I open the bedroom door. She swings the backpack she's clutching, hitting my leg in a show of impatience and looking entirely unapologetic for it.
Did you just wake up? Don't tell me you forgot. Our playdate today.
I doubt I'd forget. Kylie visits are frequent enough that they found a way into my schedule. They're supposed to be visits to her godmother. We can't pick who child gets along with. So as long as I'm not busy, her father can drop her off for the day, which is all well and good for me, if it makes this worse focus on the work I've given him. What work? Besides, she's a bright child, tolerable, she's got a good head on her shoulders and can get pretty mature for her age at times. Of course, they have to thank me for that. Her parents can take a partial credit, but Hannah and I have been there for this kid since she was just a small babe. Why can I still remember the first time I saw her was during her baptism? The only reason I was there to accompany Hannah, who was to be named godmother. She was such a tiny thing, not even a year old, and swaddled in her mother's arms in white cloth. It was her first time I really saw an infant up close enough to hold one at least. It had been terrifying to be given a little child to carry in her arms the water ceremony. I've never done that, so before that, to hold a tiny life in my arms, I could have just dropped her on her head and this little tyke before me who would have stopped existing then and there. But the child just smiled at me, babbling nonsensical words as children do, and clinging to me as I tried to hand her off to Hannah. She had done it hilarious and adorable. The suit has been a mess, and I was nearly an anxious wreck by the time I handed her back to her mother. It was pleasant too.
Of course I didn't, you little rugrat. I just had to take care of something before you arrived.
Really? Well, I guess that's fine. As long as he told me for work like last time.
Really? Now why don't we go back down and have breakfast in the parlor?
I already ate at home. Papa made one of his tortillas de patatas. He wouldn't let me leave until I finished every bite.
Ah, this was infamous tortilla de patatas. Those things are a hazard. You can probably use one to bludgeon someone into submission with how huge they are. It is a miracle that Kylie can still be so energetic. I had trouble staying awake the first time I had one. Speaking of staying awake...
Well, I need some coffee in me at the very least. But if you'd like, you can jump straight to dessert.
Yes, dessert please.
It's easy enough to manage Kylie with the promise of sweets, thankfully. The hard part is managing her before she gets her the sweets, because I nearly have a heart attack when the kid races down the stairs. Just the thought of her slipping and breaking her neck is enough big to rush down after her.
Slow down, the food isn't going anywhere.
The food is going somewhere. In my tummy.
Jesus fucking Christ. Children.
With a shake of my head, I usher Kylie towards the parlor and order a maid to bring the food first. Whatever breakfast there is, along with a cup of coffee for me and an ice cream for Kylie. But I can't leave the kid alone for too long unless I want her to turn the other room into a slaughtered ground. True to my expectations, I've only left Kylie alone for a few minutes, but she's already made herself comfortable. The stuff from her backpack has been scattered across the room, from coloring books and crayons to toys. She's well equipped to amuse herself with no trouble. But I can certainly breathe a little easier if she won't bring her doll along every time she visits. Narcissa, or Cisa, is a creepy little bucker. It doesn't help when Kylie left her during one. Finding the thing at the bottom of the stairs staring at me at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning is a memory that won't be leaving me anytime soon. Even now, it stares at me from where it's seated. I'm wholly tempted to just throw the thing into the fireplace and banish it from whence it came. I can buy her a prettier doll, a better toy. I will break it, I will find a good way to get rid of it. If it wasn't for Hannah, and if only Kylie isn't so attached to it. The thing is some antique doll she found in some brat's 6th birthday. One of a kind. My darling Hannah loves it so. And Kylie does try to be a good goddaughter. She just can't keep herself interested long enough with my wife. It's not something that Hannah does wrong on her part. She does try so very, very hard. It's just that she doesn't quite know how to handle children. She'd never been around other children when she was young, surrounded by protective adults who catered to her every whim and worried her safety every minute. When she isn't able to keep up with Kylie, her first instinct is to be strict. Impose rules on the child, treat her as she's made out of spun glass, like every moment might break her. I, at least, have some idea of being around street kids. I know the games they played and how they think. I know that scraps and skins, knees are all part of childhood, even with how I grew up. I had time to be a child, as not some sheltered hairs. With Kylie, as behaved as she can be, her toys and her books and arts, she has to use up all her energy somehow. To run around the playground and make a mess in the mud, or even just a fake wrestle for a short while. Let her be a child when she wants, I'll say. If it counts too much, just bribe her with the sweets or ship her back to Papa. Problem solved. Unfortunately, Hannah isn't quite up for those sort of things most of the time, and it'll spoil the child. It turns the whole playdate awkward every time. Being in the last seat left, I took one of her coloring books from the table to see it filled with dinosaurs. Not exactly what I expect to see for a little girl, but it doesn't hurt anyone. If she wants to play dolls and cars, or dolls with their cars, what do I care? She wants to put dolls tutors on her cars, models' cars even.
Oh, this is a new one. The last one you had was filled with horses, wasn't it?
Those are ponies, Tio. They're much cuter than horses.
Fine.
We went to a dinosaur zoo, and it was awesome! Siri, dinosaurs are my favorite.
I have no idea what that is, but it must be something. I'm only familiar with the T-Rex myself.
Yeah, they found, fossils of its claws. They're really long.
I have no idea what dinosaur actually she is talking about.
They think the whole theory might be a bazillion meters tall, even bigger than a T-Rex. Cisa says it'll be big enough to eat all my classmates.
Actually, let me look that up. I'm curious. Oh yeah, Therizinosaurus. Single species, lived in Asia 70 million years ago. genus is only known from few bones, and it was colossal to grow up to 10 meters, or 33 feet. That is impressive. Wait. It had... Oh, it had claws. Despite being quite tall, it had... It looks like a silly bird with gigantic fucking claws. My god. That thing could shred anything it wanted to. You really like weird things, Kylie. Also, I just noticed that expression. That is scary. Julie laughs as I scrunch up my nose and grimace.
Taco says you're making a really funny face.
Taka who?
Takako, a friend I made.
I have to stop and look around, expecting one of the help to be there. The child does have a way of befriending just about anyone, as long as she puts her mind to it. If the two of us are completely alone, thankfully, she only finds my disturbed look as another funny grown-up expression. That might be a lot more problematic than whether she plays with dolls or cars still. Both the dance of Cisa giving Kylie ideas, and one of the ideas being massacre by dinosaur. Something I probably need to bring up with her father aside from work. But beyond matters, dinosaurs, creepy dolls, and imaginary friends, I find no trouble with Kylie. She's as energetic and precocious as any tyke her age can be. She's an angel if she can get comfy and settled in after getting her sweets. We tuck into our waffles as soon as the food is brought in. Now I want waffles. Look how delicious that looks. Our waffles because she wanted her own plate to go with the ice cream as soon as she saw mine. A fresh plate of berries is brought in as well, which goes great with the rest of the feast, as Kylie puts it. And if I indulge the sweetness, I have a cup of black coffee to pair it off with. With our bellies full, Kylie grows content with scribbling on a scrap of paper and calmly chatting about her week. She talks about her older brother Rowan and her parents. Now they plan to go to Bloxland in Perkshire for winter holidays. She talks about Miss Pink. I have to shift my legs to become comfortable once more. Remember my initial meeting, which are still fresh in my mind. That little prat is quick to defend her favors academically as well. The woman has yet to offer a proper apology, and she wishes to keep one on her behalf, all diplomatic, like I got her. She talks to the sad man at the park. Of the sad man at the park. Oh, that's Zach. And of her new friend who likes to play hide and seek when she's not sniffing in the loo. Huh? When finally she finds nothing new to talk about, she goes back to her drawings. Tattle changes as soon as her stomach settles, of course. Calm before the storm. Because behaved as she is right now, I can feel the curiosity of just radiating off her. There's a restlessness buzzing under her skin and a question on the tip of her tongue, as they often are with the children her age. But for now, I can take this piece with no complaint for however long it stays. I have fun with the crayons as well, and the solid's insistence, even if I can't really draw. With Kylie using the black crayon, that leaves me with the blue one. I absentmindedly start to draw a puppy with the best of my abilities. It's as I attempt to give the Doodles dogs another eye that Kylie breaks her silence.
Yo, where did Tia go? I saw them leave when I got here. Tia didn't look so good.
I've been expecting a lot of different questions, but Kid always has a bunch of them ready for me. I can only sigh when she posts this particular one.
She's just going to the doctor's for a checkup.
And as kids go, they are full of questions.
And you didn't go with her?
Well, you were going to be here, sweetie, so I had to stay behind.
So she's all alone? At the hospital?
Oh, no, of course not. Tia has Johans and her maid and a guard. She's got plenty of company.
Yeah, but you're not with her.
If I didn't know better, I'd say this game is trying to make me feel guilty. Though I don't know if it is bitter taste in my mouth is that or something else entirely. I really don't have time to process what emotion is as the brat opens her mouth again.
You should have gone with her to the hospital. Hospitals are scary, you know.
Exactly why I didn't go. I don't like hospitals, Kylie. That's all there is to it.
So you're not angry at Tia?
Why would I be angry at her? It isn't her fault she got sick.
I heard you and Tia are fighting.
Oops.
I heard that you might not be together anymore.
Have to stop her there. Sure, it's easy for people to jump into conclusions and presume that we might be fighting. No thanks to Rochelle. But it's not common knowledge that things have actually gone sour, and to put it in short terms, that we might not be together anymore.
Oh, well, where did you hear this from?
I heard it from a nice maid lady.
Oh no.
But that's still no excuse. Not when she's sick. She needs someone to hold her hand and bring her soup and make her drink milk.
Drink medicine. I'm livid. Livid over one of my employees with gossip, and to a child of all people. Who says such upsetting things to a child? But my anger dies up when Kylie starts to tear up. She holds it back in an effort not to seem childish, I assume. Though I'm honestly confused as why such news would upset her so.
No. Look, Kylie, there's no need to cry.
I'm not going to cry.
Are you sure? You've got no reason to cry. Even if Hana and I won't be together anymore, you can still visit me and I can still visit you.
That's not the problem. Why don't you and Tia love each other anymore?
I still love her, Munchkin, and I'd like to think your Tia still does too.
Isn't that the truth? I love her. I'm just a total shy that's doing it. Yeah, but you cheating on her. A small part of me screams that it was not worth it to be her husband in the first place, no matter how hard I deny it. Perhaps at another time, another place, another me, I would have confessed that the whole world is nothing compared to her.
Why are you two fighting? You grown-ups are so stupid sometimes.
Why? Because I'm a pet, probably. Motioning for her to come closer, I wrap my arms around her, rub her back in an attempt to comfort the child. Only when I feel her tears soak into my jacket, I realize that there might be something else to her worries. I've heard Schwartz is not getting along with his wife as of late, because of how busy he is with work. Really, I was wholly tempted to just brush her question off and say it's a grown-up thing. I could contain myself pretending that this isn't happening. But it seems Lee needs to hear this. That just makes it all more painful to try and explain it. Because I have to explain it not only for Kylie, but also for myself.
Sometimes, people fall out of love. Or they think they've fallen out of love and need time apart. It's not necessarily a bad thing. They might be angry at each other, or they might feel sad. They need time for themselves to think about each other, to know if there is still love. Maybe they'll be back together again. Or maybe it's better for both of them to move on. Instead of staying together and hurting each other, pretending they still love each other.
There's nothing final, but here we are, at a crossroads where the wrong step might end in a heartbreak. Hannah thinks we need some time apart, but we aren't done just yet.
But yes, grown-ups can be rather stupid.
You're still gonna be my friend, no matter what, Tio?
Of course, my life would be less exciting without a little brat like you running around and making a mess of it. And you better stay my friend, even when I get all old and wrinkly.
Kylie's shoulders shake in laughter as she pulls away and gives me a toothy grin.
Already old! But don't worry. When you die, I'll burn you and put you in a jar so I can keep you forever! Just like they did with Abuelo!
I love that sentence. When you die, I'll burn you and put you in a jar. Ah, Luke deserves that. My thoughts come to a grinding halt at her words. Yet she goes on as if she hadn't said a thing of an odd thing. The fuck did I just say? She goes on if she hadn't just said the odd thing. Why, it almost seems like the tiger's looking forward to my funeral. As if there is no confused expression on my face, she pulls me back to our drawings, commenting on the state of my weird dog.
I think your puppy would look better in magenta.
With Hannah away for checkup, Luke was left alone to watch over his godchild, Kylie Zoris. However, what was supposed to be simply babysitting and turned awkward when the precious child began spouting bizarre things. I don't think I can spend any more time with Kylie considering how high-strung I feel. So it is a good thing that Zoris came for her as soon as it called. Though it is earlier than we agreed upon time, he voices no complaint. The bastard even has a look of relief as soon as they left. Or at least interpreted as such when I stood by one of the windows, not wanting to step out and greet the man. No doubt he still doesn't trust me around his spawn. Well, he has every right to be suspicious of me. I'm a dangerous man after all. But to my chagrin, that leaves me with the rest of the day with nothing to do. Well, aside from picking up the mess Kylie had scattered about in the parlor, to my immense relief, she remembered to take her doll home with her this time. The same cannot be said about the crayons and papers littered here and there. The first things first, I snatch my own doodle off the table and rip it to shreds, leaving no hope that it will see the light of day. The rest of the drawing, all Kylie's, remain unharmed as I collect the lot. Though they have been stacked neatly on the table before, they must have been blown about when I saw Kylie off. And there's plenty of them. With the cats and cakes, the colorful rainbows and gardens, the child managed to make a lot during her morning here. There's one more that I have to fish out the fireplace where it landed. Expecting to see another one of Kylie's masterpieces, instead greeting up with something a bit more concerning. And we got the name. Takako. The black-haired woman is Takako. There's me, and there's Kylie, and the two of us side by side, and smiling as our stick figures stand in a nondescript field. That much I can ascertain without looking at the labels below the duelist's feet. But the third figure stands next to me in the drawing. A woman with her face hidden behind a curtain of black. Takako. They're riding under her supplies.
Takako says you're making a really funny face.
One big happy family.
Taka who?
Takako, a friend I made.
The hairs on the back of my neck stand on end and I feel a chill go down my spine. A breath that isn't mine. That's me turning around expecting, hoping to see someone, anyone, but nothing. And that's when I hear it. A laughter, sweet and merry laughter, ringing from the ballroom. Think about it as my cheeks burning and my blood running hot. It's as if I'm being mocked. I stomp towards the door. I have to stop myself from shouting up a storm. I expect to see some of the help, dallying about, idle from their duties. Perhaps they thought they can slack off in their duties without the head butler around and with my preoccupation with Kylie. Well, they had another thing coming. But again, nothing. Nothing from what I can see from a cursory glance. At the very least, I roam around looking for near impossible hiding places, and still I am all alone. Yet I can hear the laughter, that accursed laughter echoing about in the room, in my head.
Who's there? Show yourselves and show some respect to the master of the house.
Cold uneasiness settles in my stomach when no one answers. I stumble on my own 2 feet, feeling the wave of nausea come from nowhere. I have to put my head against the wall to stay upright when the world shifts and the pain explodes from behind my eyes. It takes every ounce of self-control not to heave, then and there. The only thing my pride allows me to do is to close my eyes and attempt to alleviate some of the pain. Vague, unfamiliar images, dare say memories not mine, flash in my head, unbidden and unwelcome. Like a strong hammer strike to its head, threatening to crack my skull and split it in two. Whatever emotions they hold are muted. I'm nothing but a spectator. Still, its weight feels palpable. Though it doesn't take long for these citrus to get into my head, through the eyes and my ears, it creeps and buzzes into spaces between. One after the other, they come at me, an unending flood that threatens to sweep me away from what feels like an eternity. Each one shall have both joy and suffering for those who have called this mansion their home. Each scene is like a hammer to the head, threatening to crack the skull and split it in two. I can feel every little emotion, the blurry images that present itself in my head. I feel part of these, like I've lived through them, but I know it's not possible. All of their anger burns through me. How much is evident? The pain more so. And above it all are the whispers, the voices calling, luring, until one image emerges in a vivid contrast with the others. With the others shout joy, my eyes snap open, looking for the culprit. And that's when the whole room just changes. Everything is the same, yet everything isn't. In living memory, there are people everywhere, laughing and dancing. I should be concerned about them, but my mind finds it easy to dismiss them as they fade in and out of nothingness. Instead, I find my concentration drawn to a man and woman, though one can only call them Lord and Lady, going by their clothes. And oh, just see how happy the couple looks. Though the man's eyes are eerily blank, like he's not all there. His face is familiar, though. In fact, they both are. But I can't quite place why. It's the mural. The two of them make a pretty picture as they dance in the center of the ballroom. Even the phantom crowd's attention stay on them. It reminds me much of Hannah and I during the early days of our marriage. The honeymoon years, as they call it. We were happy too then. All smiles and her sunshine, even through the normal dreary weather. Younger, we had less to worry about. Or at least, we thought that way. I wished we could go on that way even with all I did and I had to do. But life has a way of catching up. There was work to be done. Although we had to stay the loving, perfect couple in public, I could not afford to look so weak. To appear tied down to someone else who knew who I really am. I had to harden my heart when I had business, when it hadn't been so easy just to switch that part of me on and off. I should have been concerned about their intrusion too. I asked what in the bloody hell are they doing in my house, throwing a party as if they owned the place. I asked myself how the fuck I didn't notice what was going on before, when the parlor and foyer are both only a few doors away. There's a horrid feeling of envy. And though I have long accepted I am a jealous person by nature, I've never felt such a strong feeling of envy as I have now. They were happy with each other, these people, but Hannah and I, envy turned into anger. Anger for something I could not have. But I have a feeling that yelling and screaming at them won't do much anything anyway. Not the others have given me notice. I realize it might not even be real. It dawns on me that these are two people from the paintings, the ones all over the mansion. Which makes sense. I don't think I'm imaginative enough to make all of this on my own. This must be a dream. Or a really horrible high. Just then, I can feel eyes on me as I contemplate the absurdity of the situation. Yet I find difficulty in trying to tear my eyes away from the two dancing. I manage, and I regret looking away. The woman from the garden stands beside me in 3D. I can hear rattling breath, menacing and chilling. Everything in me screams to run, but something swings with the spot as she looks at me, watching and waiting. The clamor of their voices fill the ballroom. Although they saying such welcoming words, I do not feel comforted by the madness I'm experiencing. Their choice voices turn sinister and foreboding to my ears. The chorus of people that shouldn't exist, threaten to overwhelm me, drown me even as I stand on dry land. The music still plays as Phantom Quartet continues while I stand here, vulnerable and afraid, but the dance has already ended. I'm afraid I might just be tonight's entertainment. Attention is all well and good until bollocks like this go down. These phantom people watch me, thousands of eyes scrutinizing, though they cheer my return, cajole me to dance and join the merriment. These are eager hands all over, pulling me in every direction, but they do not move enough to remove me from the woman's gaze.
Listen. Can you not hear them as they welcome you home? Your kind, our kind. You're one of us, my love. We are bonded by the blood we share.
Oh? As if the thoughts were overwhelming before, it is nothing compared to how they are now. Their voices are loud, speaking in unison and echoing ever on in the spaces of my head. They welcome me back, as if I've always belonged, as if I'm meant to be here in the first place. They call me all these titles and names that do not belong to me. The man's face, the one with the empty eyes, flashes again before me. Once, fleetingly. Like a new memory burned itself in my mind. I have to struggle for air when I come back to myself after.
I'm not. This isn't...
The welcome turns into screams at my protest, paying the desperate pleas for my help, telling me that it is my duty to stay, telling me that I belong among them, them. Gentle touches turn near threatening, warning scratches at the baring teeth by the predators, if they truly maim someone. My mouth goes dry as I struggle to speak some sense in this hallucinatory madness, but I don't get the chance as they drown out my voice.
Our Lord, my Prince.
At her words, there's compulsion to stay. Though my heart races in my chest, the fear I should be experiencing refuses to register in my head. Mind and body ward each other, nearly tearing me in two.
You finally returned to us.
The compulsion to walk into her arms is strong. Whispers in my head tell me to go to her. They say that she is safety, she's home and heart.
We have been waiting for so long.
But repulsed at these thoughts, I wrench away and turn with a small gasp. Without hesitation, I start to make a run for it. I nearly falter with the angry shriek pierces the air, inhumane and monstrous. I don't dare to look back. I just run. I didn't care if this is drug-induced hallucination or not. Just run. Out of the ballroom. And out of the parlor. It's only then I bother to look back, hoping and praying. This God I scorned that it did not pursue me. Would have run all the way out of the mansion too if someone didn't get in my way. I collide with a body much larger than mine and fall back to my ground, head spinning as I look up the stained glass. Turning my head to the side replaces a clover side with a pair of shiny black shoes. Fatigue fills every inch of my being then, making me refuse to get up. Meanwhile, the mere head of ginger hair looks down at me in bemusement.
You really must look where you're going if you insist on running about. Do tell, where is the fire?
Oh, thank God you're here.
I do hope you don't have a concussion. Can you count backwards from 15 to 1 for me?
Oh, fuck off, you wanker. Just help me up.
I do not think insulting me if you do have a concussion is a smart decision. But no, really. 15 to 1.
That woman, she was here. I told you to keep an eye out for her.
The other man offers an arm and pulls me up to my feet then. But before I can storm off and pull him off to the ballroom, he anchors me down to one hand on my shoulder and utter touching the back of my head.
Bruising or bump, that still does not mean that you don't have a concussion. If you are too lazy to count backwards, can you tell me your full name? Where are you currently?
We don't have Lucille Mitchell Wright, and this is the Ermengarde bloody fucking foyer. But we don't have time for this.
You must make and have the time to make sure you are not broken in the head. I have already sent security to scour the whole house when I saw you running out of the parlor, Dummkopf. If the woman is here, they will have her. You will only be slowing them down if you plan to interfere.
When he points that out, I realize there are guards starting to filter into the house as we speak, with some already searching the nearby rooms. Armed and uniformed men go around in pairs, making it so that the house is in a flurry of activity. It lets go of me with the knowledge that I'm not going to keel over anytime soon. Alone Luke heard voices coming from the nearby ballroom. When he decided to investigate, he was assaulted by memories not of his own. And at the center of it all, it's the same woman who appeared before him the day before.
I was hoping that you would be tired from dealing with the young miss on my return. Instead, you come running and hit your head. Such a troublesome boy. Shall I be carrying you to bed, too?
I can manage just fine on my own. Though I don't see how I can sleep until that woman is caught.
It'll be easier to keep you safe in your quarters. This is twice we've known the woman to break in. I think we can safely presume that you hold her interest.
He says it as a matter of fact in a tone that broke no argument. Not like I'd argue if it means I'm kept safe. The two of us hurry upstairs, though we remain watchful and wary of any potential threat to my person. We make it to the master bedroom without any trouble, though, and the two security are left outside my door. No problems at all. So this is the reason why security was tightened. Not until we get inside. Johan's eyes scanned the room wildly, a look of dread on his usually stoic face. And I don't understand for a moment. Look around the bedroom, it's empty. But then I realize...
Where's Hannah? She came home with you from the hospital, didn't she?
She's supposed to be here. I sent one of the maids to accompany her here, to let her rest.
I feel the colors rain from my face when he raises the hand to stop me from charging out there.
Stay.
I'm not staying in here while Hannah stays out there.
One of the guards will find her and bring her here.
And what if they don't? What if that woman gets to her first? What if she already has her?
That's not possible.
You can't promise that.
There's no second thought as I reach under my bed and pull out one of my knives. I have no doubt that the other man can take me on if we're both unarmed. But with this, I can even the field, or at least deter him from escalating the situation and risking hurting either of us.
I'm going out there to look for Hannah, and you're either with me or you aren't. I'm not risking Hannah, and I'm not leaving her alone.
Still, like a stubborn mule, he refuses to budge from the door. There's a withering look on him that I try to match. One that somehow I'm losing fast to, even with him not saying a word yet.
Can you see yourself in the mirror right now? You are in no proper state to go looking for anyone. If it will make you happy, I will do the looking. But please, and don't make me repeat this, stay where it's safe, where security can find you. We already have one person to be worried about. Please don't add another one to it.
Perhaps it is his tone. In spite of his general disdain for virtually everything that has to do with me, I'd like to think over the years he has grown to care for Hannah at least. Much as I love to admit this, I trust him with the safety over any servant in his house. So, my questions.
You have 2 hours, Shuriken. I don't think it'll take that long to find one missing woman in this house. 2 hours. Any more than that, and I'm going out there.
Of course.
Despite his words, he lingers. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he wants to make sure I get in that damn bed and sleep before he turns away from me. What am I, a child, watching me and treating me like one? There's the reason why we will never get along, and that is why he assaulted Ashton so violently. Because he thought that Ashton was the one who took Hannah. It makes all sense now. And I thought that he was doing something completely different.
Well, what are you waiting for?
It's a big misunderstanding.
And the knife?
The knife stays.
Very well.
Only then does he seem to get the hint. With a nod he leaves, locks and closes the door behind him. Bumping into Luke after his flight from the ballroom, Hans quickly ushered the paranoid man to his room. While his house's security looked for a trespasser, only to be greeted by a room devoid of Hannah, who was supposed to have arrived with the butler. For a moment. Also, that image there. That looks very much like batter to me. Not batter. The, Battler? Was that his name? Jeez, my memory's full of holes. Still, for a moment I hear his voice when he gives the guards outside room instructions and hush as soon as he departs and his footsteps fade away. One that doesn't quite last. As quickly as the silence settles, the lightning flashes across the sky, followed immediately by the loud boom of thunder. That wanker strikes so dangerously close that I can feel the electricity in the air. The power goes out not a second later, and I feel as if I'm being mocked by whatever the creative power there is, and that's why the house was dark. All is deathly still for a moment, but soon the rain starts once again. Far heavier than the light drizzle from this morning, the pitter-patter hitting hard against the place's roof. Despite the noise, I find myself drawn to my bed, exhausted, hoping for a little nap. I'm safe here. Hannah will be safe too. Shraken will find her, and when I wake, she'll be here. It does not take long. As my head hits the pillow in a matter of minutes, darkness claims me, bringing in with laughter and whispers of twisted love from a long time ago.
Who are you? Stay away!
Sweet dreams, my love. It'll be over soon.
Here we go. Yet in spite of unfamiliar voices and unwanted touches from the shadows lurking in the dark, rousing is a slow, arduous process. Difficult, every limb heavy with lead. No matter my aversion for the words they murmur in my ears, the sight of her horrid smile from afar, my body refuses to yield. I am at their mercy. Beyond unfathomable reason, my consciousness refuses the pull of the waking world, choosing to linger in the pits of a dream, gradually drawing me deeper into the unknown depths. Somehow, if it might mean I may never open my eyes, I allow them. Not that I mind getting a few extra hours, of course, it's more comfortable as it is, after an exhausting day yesterday. Babysitting Kylie and the stress of fighting intruder in my own home. I think I deserve a little break every once in a while, especially after going through all that in a single day. I can only be a receiving end for so many unacceptable things within a span of a few hours, you know. As a gracious house and the person I am, my patience has its limits too. Although there's still the problem with Hannah. I haven't forgotten that, of course, but that's why I hired Shraken. He's competent enough. He won't even last a day in my service if he's any lesser than those half-wits, who think they can deceive me with sweet words. He's more than capable of working on his own without guidance. The butler take care of that little problem with Hannah while Hannah!
Do not need her. I am here. We are here. This is where your home is. Where you belong. For the blood we share. Come back to us.
How long has it been since? Hans has never taken this long before.
Surely there should have been an update by now. Alright?
So why isn't there?
Please don't go.
Bloody hell, the cretins I've surrounded myself with.
And isn't that enough reason to force myself out of the bed? And it's always been the case. My eyes fly open, expecting the warm rays of sunshine filtering through the curtains, only to be greeted by a blinding flash of light and a loud boom of thunder that sounded nearly too close to my ears. Strong gusts of winds will occasionally burst into the open balcony door, bringing in drizzles of cold rain into the room. I must have left it open earlier before dozing off. The carpet of the floor closest to it is already drenched. Hannah's going to be so cross when she sees this. Not that it's an immediate problem. If anything, it's this power outage that we should be minding first. But the intruder still at large. Staring through the darkness might be more fatal than multiple stab wounds. Or a gunshot into the chest.
Oh, great. The power's still out. That is exactly what I need right now. Yes.
It's the storm, of course. I should have moved back the penthouse to the weather to weather it in much more comfortable setting. Already I can feel the creak and groans of the old blades as the rain beats against the windows.
Johns! Has someone been sent to check the circuit breaker yet?
No answer.
Johns?
Silence.
Something. Someone! Anyone?
Still nothing, and my cordial mood is quickly dissipating.
Where are those idiots when you need them?
It's a really wonder why he hasn't fixed this yet. Was I really out that long? Can't be. It has only been a few hours after midnight, if the time on my wristwatch has anything to go by. Unless I forgot to change it again after the last overseas trip a month ago. Though the delay is understandable if he went looking for Hannah as he promised. Bloody hell, my safety is also at stake here. Cursing, I stay still, letting my eyes try to adjust to the darkness while my hands fumble for my slippers. It's 3:33 here. If the butler isn't going to fix this, I may as well order the security posted outside to do it. It's probably just a lone fuse. Anyone with a brain can repair one. Grabbing my jacket and with the footwear widely on, I make it for the door. Also on the fuse thing, it depends on the fuse box. Some of the older ones are quite difficult. Although in haste, I pause briefly when a gleam catches my eye. In one of my drawers, underneath the clutter I've yet noticed, a muzzle of a gun peeks out. Hannah's never openly commented my possession of it, but I know she does not approve it, knowing the bloody firearms policy in this nation. Of course, I've not found much use for it in the 7 years we've been together, otherwise she would have already had thrown it out years ago. Doesn't mean it won't be useful right now. When at second thought, I seize it, then the stuff piled above it under the floor. Whatever. I'll get to it later. This blackout problem should be resolved first. Right next to my missing security detail, as it turns out.
Where did everyone go?
There were two, weren't there? Shrugging at two blokes posted to stand guard for the night. I might be panicking for a bit earlier, but I'm quite sure I haven't gotten delusional yet. What? Did both of them decide to take a break? Because they think the master's already sound asleep and won't be looking for them?
Nitwits.
I know assassinations happen very rarely these days, and even less in a peaceful city like Luxborn, but bollocks. There's been a woman going in and out of this place uninvited who may or may not want to put a knife in my back. Isn't that enough reason to stay on alert? I'm fairly certain Shrakan won't just enlist their help just for this power outage, only to leave me unprotected. We have a difficult friendship, so to speak, but I doubt that man is an opportunist. I'm holding the lives of his family in my hands after all. He knows what I'm capable of doing. He's not stupid enough to do anything that'll endanger them or save only himself. So where then? Only my footsteps echo along the dark passage. and I am left gripping the handle of the pistol for some sort of comfort. Without proper lighting, and with the storm still raging outside, the stories I've heard about this place seem to have some truth to it. Some. If I'm reaching and wish to entertain myself for a bit, I'll say there also might be ghosts whispering to my ears, calling. Of course, it's just a wind and the trees rustling outside. Nothing good will come out, allowing these thoughts to linger when the problems are piling up in front of me one after another. Especially with what greets me when I get to the foyer. And here we go. Luke Wright woke up storm raging outside with the whole house eerily quiet. Power was still off and his butler was nowhere to be found, even when called. Taking his gun with him, he went out to investigate in his own ward to find his own home. Though it's dark, the large windows illuminate the area much more easily than any of the other rooms. And from where I stand on top of the stairs, I can still make out forms. Recognize them, evil. It's all gone crazy when these intruders come into my house. I'm no stranger to a cop playing dirty. The smart ones knew that neither life nor criminals going to play fair. If one of these wonks sort is in on this, I'm not surprised too. But Lily, the estate agent, she doesn't seem to be the sort. And Daisy too. I will highly think of Miss Pink if the Fort Hike finds about this. Not to mention Mint. Hannah trusted her. I trusted her to be professional at the very least for fuck's sake. To top it all off, they have also the nerve to look surprised when I announce my presence.
Well, what have we here? If I were any less sober, I'd say this is the beginning of a joke.
Bloody trespassers, what is wrong with these people? Do they really think I'll be fine with walking them into my home like this? What are they even doing in here? If I didn't know any better, they might also be behind Hannah's disappearance.
That's right, my love.
They must have a motive. And it better be a good one.
Not to us.
A bullet to the head is the least all of them will deserve.
Let's see. A photographer, a high school teacher, a real estate agent, an interior designer walk into a mansion.
The thunder crackles once again, cutting me off. This time, it hits close enough that I nearly feel as the windows and the ground itself are rumbling. All is deathly still for a moment. I don't let it stop me. However, as I slowly make myself towards them, one careful step at a time, relishing the expression of fear in their eyes. I suppose there's something ominous in this setting, with the heavy rain outside and the lack of light here. I kinda like it, to be honest. Add something to the atmosphere. I suppose I'll look like a villain now. But short of me getting close to them, the noise to my left distracts me, briefly halting my movements while curiosity takes over every murmur in my head. It's a good thing, perhaps, that I did. And as soon as I look up, I see him. Another trespasser. Right. Just as he's about to jump down the furniture that somehow ended up piled up and blocking the door to the parlor. What happened here? And did he really think it's alright to do that in other people's house? Loud?
Teach him, my lord. Put him in his place.
My hand's already been moving before any rational can stop me. Fingers firm at the gun, but I release the safety from it and take aim. Not at him, but at his friends. They're his, aren't they? Why else would they be here together? Doesn't matter. He won't let the people he cares about to be harmed. My finger on the trigger is more than itching to shoot, but I hold back. Sure, I could have taken the aim at him. But more than seeing him bleed, I want to see the expression on his face when he realizes everything he's doing is futile. He's trapped. Lives are in my hands. His life's in my hand.
Had I known there would be a party in my own people these days, in my own home, can you believe it?
I double-clicked.
Had I known there would be a party in my own home tonight, I would have opened a bloody bottle or two. People these days, in my own home, can you believe it? I feel so left out.
I can tell the exact moment the realization dawns on him. A short second of body freezing and blood draining from his face as soon as his feet hits the floor and he looks up. He's already a prey trapped in by his own recklessness.
And really, Daisy, even you, what would Kylie say?
Luke, this isn't what you're thinking. You have to listen to us. There's something going on here.
Well, obviously, why else would people be trespassing in my home? What about little Lily over there, then? What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is? Oh, we're doing good, by the way.
Sir, please.
Oh, please what?
Becca's right, sir. We need to get out of this place. You need to leave.
Not a good enough excuse, darling. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight. Don't worry, I might consider pressing lighter charges for the woman. Can't say the same for the rest of you. But really now, I swear the people of this city need to be taught the meaning of privacy. This is how you want to start the week. Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
It's just a passing remark, of course. I'm not stupid enough to do something that will bring negative attention to myself. Reputation and all that. I can't just risk it. The thought of having dead bodies here, the ones that I'm not even responsible for, they're the ones who trespassed. It's already quite too much. It'll literally be overkill, especially for someone like me. Nevertheless, joke or not, Tetris wastes no time throwing his own guns at the slight wave of my own, even if he knows it's already too late. Still, he glares at me. Still, he fights back.
Now, Feathers. Manners. You're in no position to be pointing that gun at people.
There's no desperation in him like I'm hoping. Just annoyance flickering shortly before being hidden underneath a challenge. The likes of him are the kind of people I hate the most. Even with their failures already glaring down at them, mocking every worthless move they make, they have the impudence to stare people in the
Why
eye.
don't you put yours down first, and then we'll talk about manners.
Oh, he talks back. The gall! You know, your kind pisses me off so much.
Annoying most of the time, like the damn pest you can't get rid of. But to some degree it is commendable. I'll give him that. After all, we're almost the same in that regard, almost. I'm still a better person, of course. It tells me to put the gun down, but I see no reason why I should. I'm a homeowner. In my defense of my own home, I have the right to, I'd like to think. Questionable parabit of firearms aside. It's not like I wanted this. But I'm very high-strung and your presence does not help. Bloody peasants. I can never seem to figure out how their minds fully work. Take this one, for example. Despite the pride brimming in him, how he matches my glare with one of his own, he simply lowers his pistol after a long second, not in surrender. Then sitting his shoulders tells me as such, the closest he can get to lowering his own ego, in favor of something I can't quite place. Interesting. Gotta admit, I'm almost disappointed.
You should be, my lord.
I've expected him to hold out until one of us shoots the otter. I can't say it'll be more exciting that way. A bullet inside any part of my body isn't something I'd like to have on a bad day like today. Or any day for that matter. But it will surely be predictable of him. And I like predictable. The kind of people who are easy to deal with, no matter the situation. With them, there's no second guessing what they'll do. He shoots, I shoot. One of us dies, the other walks away. Nothing complicated. Nothing requiring much brain power, just muscle memory and who's the better shooter. End of story. Yet here he is, tracking a deep breath in and setting aside the only thing protecting him. I can easily shoot him this way, be down with the whole farce of a conversation. Instead, I find myself listening. A concession for a person who, in another life, would have become the person I am today, had his circumstances allowed it. Damn shame. We might have gotten along.
Listen, right. I need you to...
But alas,
You broke into my house, and somehow, you expect me to listen like a good little boy. Are you a bit touched in the head, Feathers? I'm not the one breaking laws here.
Look here, fucker. If I wanted you dead, I could have done it so many times already. In fact, I can easily shoot you down right here, right now. And you won't be able to do a damn thing, even with that gun.
Meeting with two prideful blokes will never go well, whichever lifetime it is. I can only laugh at his audacity, his lack of shame and fear even facing business end of my pistol.
I'm thinking right now, in another lifetime, we would have probably gotten along well.
The best truth I can offer him, not many people, those who have slighted me in particular, lived this long to see it.
He should be grateful. You're already gracious enough, allowing him to stand in your presence like this.
Yes, especially when he has a lot to answer. Preferably right now, because as generous as I've been so far, my patience has its limits. My amusement can only last for so long. In 2 steps, I'm standing in front of him, grabbing him by the collar and resting the cold muscle of the eagle against his temple.
Luke, no!
Hey, now you two, I'm sure we can all talk about this first.
He'll end up a pretty smear on the wall this close.
Teach this loud a lesson.
What is it that you people really want with me? This is the 2nd time this week, and I'm really getting weary of this little game. Did the NCA send you to apprehend me? Or has somebody paid you off to kill me? Which one is it, Feathers? Mind you, my arm's getting tired. Better answer quick if you don't want to beat the business end of this gun.
And he knows it. Of course he does. Hitman or not, he has been trained, judging purely from his stance. But not many wanted to be cautious as him. One claims that my handgun safety earlier is all it took for him to see I mean business. Similar. Too similar. We're too alike in so many little ways it's funny. Down to the fact that he doesn't even flinch, no matter how heavy the threats in my words are. Even knowing how one flick of a finger on the trigger will be enough to end of his sorry life. He should have caved in by now, started begging like many others before him. Instead, he throws more vitriol, adds more kindling to the fire already
I'm
burning.
not with NCA. I'm just here to help. There's something else in this house, and we're all in danger. You have to believe me, right? You need to let us go. You need to get out of here before it's too late. If you want to keep your sorry ass alive, you'll listen to people with more brain cells than you.
Igniting it further that I can't help but return it to him with equal fervor. We don't need him, my love.
Why, you insolent!
We both decide to move in that moment, both of our bodies sensing, each of us racing to get ahead of the other. However, before we can even get a head start, the voice unexpectedly rings above the chaos about to ensue.
Luke, help me. Please.
I was being cautious and careful, cutting off Trouble's head before things can escalate for Maple. That's why I deal with likes of Harvey, Suarez, and Johans. For all who we are, for the enemies the likes of us can make, such things has never happened before, because I do everything to make sure it doesn't happen. So to see Hannah in danger? I don't quite know how to feel or what to do. Of all times, it's going to be a hostage situation. If this is the one, even one, why now? God fucking God, what's going on here?
Help me. Please. Please make it stop.
I think that would be preferable if my sense of self-preservation was shot to hell. It would deprive me of choice and responsibility in this matter. I don't want to think about how fast my heart beats, so that I hardly hear anything other than my own heartbeat and her bleeding.
Please. They're in my head. Screaming. It hurts so much.
What do I do? What one can do against someone holding your life in their hands. With a woman that looks more monster than man. When her expression turns into one amusement and her horrific laughter fills the air, I'm torn apart. This is my fault, isn't it? Hannah's in danger because of me. Everybody I love always ends up hurt or worse. And even when I chose to let her go, she's no exception. Hannah's unbroken begging makes it so much more painful, because I still love Hannah. I really do. Will I really endanger myself for a woman who might not love me back anymore? So something in me dies a little when that woman laughs as if this is all some joke. Her smile taunts me, filling my head with laughter and rage until I can barely think over the cacophony in my head. The way the woman looks at me, as if it's watching, waiting for my next move.
Please, someone, anyone, help me.
This is crazy. I don't know what I should do. I know for a fact I shouldn't activate the hostage taker. There's no winning in an argument with someone who holds a life easily taken. But I need to do something, right? Demand a release. But I can think of few ways what she'll do. If this gets you killed, Hannah, I'm sorry. I would rage and scream. My tongue feels fuzzy in my mouth. The fight is gone from me and I can't sound out any protest. And then I try to say dies off in my throat. I'm paralyzed by the way the woman looks at me. The way she has her hands around Hannah's neck. Perhaps it is best that I keep quiet anyway. I know for the fact I shouldn't aggravate the hostage taker. There's no winning an argument with someone who holds a life so easily taken. Is there any reasoning with a monster? She looks far too gleeful, far too deranged to be all there. The way she laughs at Hannah begs to reinforce the thought. When did this all become so fucked up? A strangled cry racks towards my body when Hannah truly starts to beg for her life, and only stands there a coward without a tongue or slightest hint of heart.
So much. Please, someone help me.
She's cut off as a woman's fingers tighten around her throat. I think that she heard her pleas. To find out that she's with her children, does she feel nothing? Is she so heartless to her children, unborn they may be? I just thought of an idea, but it's too late. Her voice is but a whisper and deathly slow, and I'm hard-pressed to hear it over the pounding of my heart in my ears. She speaks. The woman from the garden is a servant girl from ballrooms. Some hallucination, visions, memories, whatever they were.
Why do you not speak up for her? Surely you must have some affection remaining for her. Is there truly no love left?
My throat runs dry and I'm scared speechless once more. Shame floods my cheeks and it becomes difficult to even look their way. I still do love her, really do. I have to think... But I have myself to think about. Rushing and headlong into situations isn't the best way to go about things. This isn't some fairy tale. Not some knight in the shining armor. I don't even think I even qualify as some dashing prince. I'm nothing but a coward who looks out for himself. Unwilling to risk Hannah's safety, Luke kept quiet to her disappointment, until the woman eventually reached his wife, who was anger and contempt in her face. All of a sudden, the whole house shifted. With a blink, blood and gore was everywhere. Spoilers! It seems she found what she was looking for, and that she has no further use for Hannah. The hand on Hannah's back sends her falling down the stairs. I move to catch her, and that sends us both spiraling at the foot of the stairs. My back on the ground and her on top of me, the pain doesn't even register in my head. All I can worry about is Hannah as I pull both of us off the ground and away from the stairs, away from her. But it seems my sin is too grave, my blunder too big. She can only look at me with a disappointment and betrayal on her face. And though she doesn't completely shy away from me, the hold she has on my arm is light, ready to let go of me at the moment's notice. Much like I'd easily let her stay as hostage. It's only fair, I suppose. I'm nothing but a coward in her eyes. A sorry excuse for a man who can't even muster up the courage to protect his wife. And the cowards cannot be trusted.
I'm so sorry, Hana. I was so scared.
What are you sorry for?
What? What do you mean?
It's not like you were ever there for me to begin with.
My blood runs cold at her words. The hollow emptiness of her words ring true. We nearly forget for a moment.
You do not deserve what you have.
Hearing her voice triggers something in Hannah and she starts to tear up. Her face contorts into one pain and fear. They grab her by the shoulder to keep her in place that she can only see me and only me, and so that I can only see her too. Except she squirms and fights against my hold even as I try to reassure her.
Look at me, Hana. Look, I'm here. You're safe. I won't let her hurt you again. Do you understand? Just breathe.
I don't know exactly what the bloody hell is going on. They can't find it in me to care. Whoever these people are and whatever they are here for. This is not acceptable. For all I know, this is some dumb charade to get me. All the times I've seen the woman before, it could have been an act to get to me. To get under my skin. And to think they dare hurt Hannah. For all that the fear that I had felt, seeing her touch Hannah, I can only think of her as an actress in a grotesque makeup. My hand still shakes, the fear not having quite gone, but anger fills me as I look at the woman, sneering in my face.
How dare you! I don't care who you are, but how dare you touch Hana! I want you out of my house, out before I call the police and have you put away for the rest of your miserable life! And that goes for all of you!
Held my ground firm and strong with my declaration. But the nerve of her! She just laughs in my face. A terrible, dreadful laugh that makes me feel as if there's an ant crawling my skin and maggots squirming into my ears.
You are telling me to get out of your house. You threatened to lock me up.
She laughs and she
What's
laughs.
so funny? What are you laughing at? None of this is funny!
But she persists and it almost feels like her voice is in my head.
Oh, no different. No different. You're all the same. You can all suffer together.
And with that, everything turns to a complete and utter shite. It's a slow thing. A whisper more than a bang as the darkness creeps into every corner of the room. We have the whole gang here. The wall-shattering groan, blood runs from the ceiling, crawls down the walls and stains the floor. It feels like life itself is being sucked from the house slowly but surely. The beauty of the place is gone, with only the dead, decaying remains of a mansion left in its wake. I'd have to wonder if it's just the fire that became this nightmare's place. Then over hear it. Gone are the growling thunder and the lashings of the rain and wind against the forest's high windows. All of it has been replaced by a more grating sound. The cacophony of voices from nowhere and everywhere and echoing throughout the new hard walls. Voice that neither belongs to us nor the people who live here.
What's going on?
All throughout the house, shouts of alarm and surprise ring out, a mirror to the horror creeping up in each of us. Who wouldn't be shocked? This is insane! Even Daisy, feisty woman as she is, trembles at the sight of it, clinging desperately to Lily, while steel and fetters stand protectively in front of the two. Brave of them have to admit to put up in the front line like that. But it doesn't necessarily mean they feel the same fear as the rest of us. Something I don't blame them for. There seems to be no insight to this insanity. If anything, it only feels like it's the beginning of the end.
Oh my god, please, somebody, anybody! Who are you? Stay away! No. Stay away. Stay away.
Oh, that's creepy. If these are the past victims, if I lost any one of these, it would be repeating their last words. Her screams fill the mansion. She laughs all the while. A harsh, agonizing sound that goes on for what feels like forever. Until there's nothing but silence, a horrid smile, the pale hands reaching out to me, calling, beckoning, pleading. I'm terrified, I really am. I like I should be. But I've never been the one to truly stay afraid. I've long learned that fear will not get me anywhere. Cowering in corner doesn't help keep me safe and will not keep me alive, not like rage does. I've learned to use the burning hate inside me to survive. There's no difference now.
Stay away from me!
Why do you wish to leave? This is where you belong, my lord. Remember the blood we share? This is your home. Don't you remember? You promised to return, to stay. Together with me, with us. With people no different from you. What is she talking about, Luke? What does she mean?
Don't listen to her, she lies. I promised no such thing to anyone. Hannah, you're the one who bought this house. How should I know what she's babbling about? I never even wanted to be here in the first place.
A terrible case of mistaken identity. That must be it. I'm quite sure of it. I don't know this woman, this monster. Why would I say that to someone like her? My entire lifetime, I've only made and kept sincere promises to a mere two people. Hannah Evans and Eleanor Chandler. No one else. The rest of those who claim to promise anything to them can go fuck themselves. Bloody hell, I may enjoy the company of women, but not an idiot to start spouting such nonsense to anyone. A line must be drawn, especially if I'm here to keep myself alive. Yet, she still goes on, insists, making me appear alive in front of these people.
Of course you still deny it. Have you truly forgotten? You haven't changed, I see. Still a deceiver.
She's lying!
You see, my love, nothing has changed. Still no difference, you and I. Just like the rest of us. Just like every single soul in this putrid wreck. We've waited for so long. You can hear them, yes. Their pleas, their calls, their invitation. Come, my lord. The house seeks its master.
The monster reaches out again, hands in a gory, abhorrent sight, along with that smile spread across her face. My body's already moving on instinct, stumbling back, one step at a time with a desperate bid to be away from her. Any bit distance between me and this vile creature. No matter what she says, I am nothing like her. I need to get out of this house, out of this country preferably. There's nothing for me here, not anymore, but to keep this tied to this place. With Hannah planning to leave me, shark and likely taken by this woman, nothing's left to bind me to this wretched city. I can leave, I can...
Careful, Luke.
My footsteps on something, sending me sliding to my back and flat on the floor. Beside me, a paper, familiar one flutters down. Assisting again, from the open house, it feels like less like a gimmick and more like a threat with the recent events. It must have followed one of these peasants in the commotion earlier. For a moment they appear conflicted to see it in my hand. Must wisely keep their opinion to themselves. Leaving the damn thing to simply bear its grisly message for everyone in the room to see. Help me. Help me. Help me. Is this it? What they've been telling us? Why everything in my life has gone to shite? Because of some stupid old letter? An invitation indeed. One I'm not willing to accept. Not anytime. From the top of the stairs, the creature moves again, drawing my attention back to her. Her gait remains slow and awkward as she walks towards. That smile never leaving her. But I won't give her the chance. I'm not dying here. I certainly am not giving myself to the hideous creature like her either. Adrenaline kicks in despite panic casts and words collected from Daisy's friends. I paid him no mind as I reached for the main door and... Without warning, it slams open, revealing not the mansion found as I am expecting. Before my mind can even comprehend what's happening, black tendrils already coiled tightly around my limbs, tracking every person in the floor into the room. None of us even get to scream when the darkness completely envelops us upon the doors closing.
Understand where your place is now, my love. You belong here. Is it so difficult to grasp? We've been waiting.
There's a moment of panic when the feeling of tendrils around my lips finally dissipates. As soon as my eyes adjust to the darkness of the room, I'm on 5 feet. I'm reaching for my knife, holding it out, watching, waiting for every movement. Using the distance between me and these peasants. Who knows what they'll do? We're all desperate to get out of this house. There's only 7 of us in this room. 4 of them, friends at that. I cannot trust these people not to turn on me. Bloody hell, even Hannah's giving me the same looks as them now. So Mint has already gone loon, crouched in the corner, muttering to herself. You can't really see anyone safe from her. If anything, she's someone I should watch out for. I cannot trust anyone. Not anymore, not after this. Despite the bleeding looks the Lily shoots my way while they all huddle in the corner behind steel and fetters. But I have to remind myself that even people like her are capable of doing the unpleasant. She's only human after all. It's never an excuse. Why even Hannah has her cunning, manipulative moments, though she does it much subtler than I. Why else would Lily show this letter to us today if not to save herself? I guess that backfired on her now that she and her own friends are also stuck here. Still, I have every right to be livid. Everything that I've built has fallen apart. All because these people came into our lives.
You, all of you, this is all your fault. If I've died to this bloody curse, I'm taking you all down with me.
Luke, please put that knife away. This isn't going to solve anything.
Hey now, Mr. Wright. I know the situation ain't good, but we have to calm down. We're all in the same boat here.
You shut your mouth! If it weren't for you, or this letter, for all of you, none of this would have happened!
A voice line missing here. Is your life all that matters to you?
What about these people here? Don't they have the same problem? What about me, Luke? Do you even care?
Are you taking their side? You're also stuck in this nightmare, Hannah! That creature is out to get us, and you're still defending these people!
I'm not defending anyone, Luke. I'm just trying to be reasonable when you're clearly not.
Oh, of course you're not. You're just the one who bought this bloody mansion to begin with. If I didn't know any better, you did this on purpose!
Why, no. Why would I ever do that? This was only meant to be an anniversary gift. For you. For us. For the family we're going to have.
Right, anniversary gift. Oh, here's your gift, darling. Oh, by the way, there's a curse included in that package. I hope that's all right. Are you really that eager to get rid of me, Hannah? Because if that's what you've been meaning to do all this time, you might as well just put a knife in my back while I'm...
Suddenly, Hannah steps up and slaps the knife away from my hand. That knife slides usually under the table, out of my reach. Before my mind registers what's happening, a sharp blow explodes at the side of my head, sending me reeling backwards. Foul fist feel the brunt of Hannah's power. She merely stands before me afterwards, even without batting an eye, glaring at me as she might rip my head off this instant. Sometimes I forget.
Don't you dare, Luke. Don't you dare imply I've ever thought of you that way.
That Hannah is never the weak woman I believed her be. How did I come to think of her as such? She used to be someone I could look up to, isn't she? When you look at her now, the way she stands tall facing a man like me, the same way she has done all these years ago, I can't help but think. Am I not responsible for taking the part of herself away from her? Enjoy your time as Mrs. Luke Wright. What a bunch of shite. Figures why she wants to leave
And
me.
these people are only trying to help us.
Oh, of course, by barging into our home.
Just a moment, I need to check something quickly. Right?
Are you really going to trust them to save your life? These peasants who brought this pox upon us?
Keep talking about us like that and see if any of us here will keep you out of this place.
Rebecca, stop! All of you, stop this!
To hear Lily speak out loud, I can't say I'm not surprised. She's always given me the impression of someone who's so meek from the moment I met her, either from the experience or her station in life. She's never struck me as someone fitting to be a real estate agent, until now. Quietly, she puts herself between me and Daisy, cutting whatever scathing words we've yet to hurl at each other. The way she glares at me reminds me a little of my way how my own mum would look at me. Particularly when I've done something wrong, and it's not a stare she's unused to showing. She's done this before, probably to a younger sibling. Huh. If she only sees the pair of squabbling kids and not a mature adults, well, that's only to be expected. No doubt that's how she sees us. For a long moment, there's only silence in the room. Still, the big oaf doesn't even dare to break it. Neither does Feathers. With both of us merely watching, bunch of wimps, these men. Not that it matters when Lily starts speaking again, after some of the anger and tension has lifted from the room.
Stop this, please! With or without that damn piece of paper,
A deep breath, an exhale. And then she closes her eyes, a crease forming between her eyebrows while she grips their hands tightly in front of her.
still would have ended up in this mess.
The atmosphere that descends into this room right after that admission is anything but pleasant. Can I call it that? An admission? It seems like from the eyes nervously flick between her and friends and I. She appears to know more than she lets on, and how she makes herself appear smaller after dropping that bomb on us. Doesn't sit quite well with me. And patience is something I don't have the luxury right now in bestowing upon other people. What else does this girl know? What else is she not telling us? Because from the looks of this, even her friends have no idea what she's talking about. Unwilling to wait, I grab her arm before she retreats without explanation, waving the letter in my hand in front of her.
Sir, you're hurting me!
Hey, hands off her, right?
Fuck off, Feathers. I have questions for your friend, and she better have the answers.
Luke, will you stop taking it out on every single person?
Your friend is hiding something, Daisy.
She struggles for a moment, but my hold eventually forces her to look up on me. Fear and uncertainty spreads across her features, especially when her eyes land on the damned paper. As much as I want to be considerate right now, I want answers.
What do you mean, Lily?
I'm not sure about it.
Don't give me that, you know something!
Ow! Please, sir. I know the paper's useless, okay?
At the mention of the letter, all of a sudden Mint stands. I've almost forgotten she's here. Her ramblings have faded away in the shouting. Without warning, she snatches the paper out of my hand. It's a miracle it didn't rip right there and there. The way she glares at it, I think she may wants to do exactly
We
that.
should have gotten rid of this thing. We should have burned it at the first opportunity we got. No, even if we rip it to shreds, it won't do anything. I think...
You don't know what I've seen, Santos.
There were children! Victims!
All because they had no idea what this thing will do to them.
Oh God, those poor souls! They were screaming and begging before she... Then what about those people they mentioned in the news lately? All those who died? My coworkers? The open house clients? None of them had seen it. Even Rose. And yet they're all dead. I should know. That letter has been with me since I picked it up. And I swear I didn't make copies of this thing. Even if I wanted to save myself, I wouldn't do that to my friends. Or anyone.
Is that what the trip to BRC was for?
Yes, I'm sorry. I couldn't tell you guys until I was certain. None of you believed me the first time. I had to find proof.
And yet we're all here! Are you taking me for a fool, Lily?
I have to go with whiskey on this. Who knows how many has already seen this before you found it? This cursed thing has to go!
We would have ended up here either way. Maybe? I really don't know. Sir, please. All I know is that paper isn't the reason why all of this is happening.
I agree, Isabella.
There's something else that...
This place.
He gets it. Steele has been quiet this entire time, but the sound of him talking, however whispered it is, still managed to catch us all off guard. We all paused, turning to him, likely the same question in our eyes.
What?
I just remembered something a friend told me. You know, stuff about ghosts or curses. You probably don't want to hear it.
Zach, just spit it out.
No, it might be something. What about this place, Zach?
There's still a moment where he hesitates, but Lily's urging eventually spurs him into speaking.
Remember what I told you the last time you and Ash visited? A few days ago?
You mean what Andrew told you? Those were just stories, Zach. It might not even help.
Regardless, Steele pauses while he allows Lily to remember. Soon enough, whatever it is dawns on her, and her face lights up with something like hope. Of all things in this nightmare, hope? Her head snaps up and she reaches for Steele's arm to give it a squeeze. Reassurance or confirmation? The meaning is lost even to Daisy, who glances at them, baffled.
What are you... Becca, it's this place.
There we go.
What? You mean, like, burn this place down?
I still think we should get rid of this letter before we start thinking of destroying a place with some historical value!
What? No? We are not burning a multi-million-pound mansion, you peasants! I just spent a fortune on this!
Seriously, Luke? Are you really more worried about that?
Buttercup, Marching, millions! It's gonna take years getting all that money back!
Well, you certainly won't be getting any of that money if you're dead. Really, Luke? Is that more important than your life?
Bloody fucking hell! Not only do I have trespassers on my property, but they're also arsonists!
And you have the tool for it. The lighter.
It's not only that. Think about it.
Chekhov's gun and all that. Then they proceed to tell some ridiculous narrative about the supernatural. Stories about ghosts, legends, curses born of great anger and pain. Whatever else people use to scare children. Not that I believe any of it. As if knowing will help. Bunch of loons, these people. Officially off their rockers. You think I'll be stuck in this nightmare with the people like them? What did I ever do to the world? Of course, it's all absurd until...
I think it's just like what the professor guy said. Just like that old story. This mansion and some other thing might be keeping her here. You know, something he wanted in life, but never got to have. Something like that.
Or maybe it's not something, Zachary.
But someone. The who doesn't have to be uttered aloud. There's only one person in this room who that woman calls after. Every single one of them has heard it. Bloody hell, it's the reluctant shift in Daisy's eyes when they flicker over to me. Though only briefly. She's also holding information on her own. Perhaps a realization she just had. Doesn't matter. I know the people slowly turn on me. How do they think I lasted in this cutthroat world? Betray them before they do the same to you. Put a knife in their back before they can act. Kill or be killed. Survival in a nutshell. What now? Are they going to throw me at the creature? See what happens to save themselves? I am no fool.
No. You're all in on this, aren't you?
Are you people implying that my husband, that we should just...
Of course! Of fucking course!
Luke, that isn't what I...
Are you all going to stoop that low?
It's nothing like that, Ash. All we're saying is that maybe Maybe he might be able to do something about this.
Drop it, you guys. We're not leaving anyone here.
Just like that, the bickering begins anew. And seeing how this keeps going, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop here. Next time, I hope that we can finish this on one sitting. And if we get an absurd amount of time, let's say this is just 5 minutes after this, we're gonna play another game. But I'm getting far too tired. So we'll just have to stop here. And we'll carry this on, hopefully for the last time, next week. So, thank you for watching. And I'll see you all next time. The worm promises you that. Join the worm, yeah.